Hello, scholars. Today we're going to continue to read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We're looking at chapters 7 through 9, and we're really going to study more about our characters in the text. And what I want to teach you today is that one way we can learn about our characters is to really pay attention to how they respond to problems. So when there is a problem in the text, what do they do? And that will really tell us more about each character. So we got to really pay attention while we read and make connections. For example, how would you respond if you found $100 on the ground? What would you do? Would you keep it? Would you give it back to somebody or try and find out who the owner is? And how would you respond if you saw someone breaking a rule? So the way someone responds to a problem really says a lot about who they are. And as a reader, we need to make inferences. We need to use what we know about our reader and the evidence from the text to make a guess about why that character is acting in a certain way. So if you see on our slide here, sorry, this one's a little bit covered up, but we have two examples. One example here about making inferences. So it's like a puzzle piece. You need to think about what do you know about the character, and then what does the text say? And what I know also could be what do you know from life? For example, in the question above, like I know it's wrong to break a rule. So if the text says that one of the characters is breaking a rule, maybe I can infer that they're not very honest or trustworthy. So it says, remember, an inference is an educated guess we make from evidence in front of us, and we connect it to prior knowledge. So prior knowledge is what we already know. So we're going to go look at a few chapters and just little moments in the text to see what we can learn about the characters. In chapter 7, it's Charlie's birthday. He's really excited because he gets his bar of chocolate every year for his birthday. It's the only time he gets to eat chocolate. And this year it's a little bit extra special because there's a chance he could have a golden ticket inside. So we're going to think about what can we learn about Charlie by his response to not finding the golden ticket, because he was really kind of hoping that he would, but this is what happens when he doesn't. Charlie looked up. 4 kind old faces were watching him intently from the bed. He smiled at them, a small, sad smile. And then he shrugged his shoulders and picked up the candy bar and held it out to his mother and said, "Here, Mother, have a bit. We'll share. I want everyone to taste it." So that was on page 29 in your text. But what does that tell us about Charlie? He was hoping to get the golden ticket. He didn't get the golden ticket. His family is very poor. The only time Charlie ever gets a bar of chocolate is on his birthday. And then what does he do with that bar of chocolate? Who does he offer it to? Does he try and keep it all for himself? So what do you think that really tells you about the kind of person Charlie is, the inside of the character? Is he kind and caring? Is he greedy? What do you think? In chapter 8, we learn about 2 more winners, one of whom is Mike TV. So the problem for Mike TV is that there's too many people in his house and he's trying to watch the television show, hence his last name, TV. All right, so what do we learn about his reaction? Look at the text. "Quiet!" he shouted when someone tried to ask him a question. "Didn't I tell you not to interrupt? This show's an absolute whiz-banger. It's terrific. I watch it every day. I watch all of them every day, even the crummy ones where there's no shooting." So what does this response tell us about Mike TV? He's glued to the television set, just watching it. The reporters are trying to talk to him to get a story for the newspaper, and he just yells at everybody. What does that tell us about the inside of Mike TV's character? Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is what can we learn about Grandpa Joe when he does not find a golden ticket? So in this chapter, Grandpa Joe gave Charlie his little stash of money that he had been saving that none of the other grandparents knew about. He asked Charlie to go buy a chocolate bar for him. So then they opened it. This is they both stared at what lay underneath. So they were opening up the candy wrapper, and it says they both stared at what lay underneath. It was a bar of candy, nothing more. All at once, they both saw the funny side of the whole thing, and they burst into peals of laughter. So that was on page 36. What can we learn about their reaction to this disappointment? Did Grandpa Joe get up and throw a fit? Did he just throw the candy bar across the room? Did he start crying? What did Grandpa Joe do? What do you think that tells us about Grandpa Joe? So don't forget, you can go onto your class Padlet and you can answer the questions there and have a kind of virtual classroom discussion. We'll be talking about the books during our Zoom meetings, or you can talk about the book with somebody at home. And this week, I really want us to think about, how do I learn about the characters from the way they react to their problems? Thank you for joining us.